a massive sinkhole on I-10. This happened yesterday. It impacted the evening commuters over on I-10, the East Freeway. This is all happening at John Ralston. Where is John Ralston? Well, here is the 610 East Loop. This is the East Sam Houston Tollway. It is smack dab right there in the middle. They've shut down the entire highway. I've gotten lots of emails and seen a lot of your comments as to why they would have shut down the entire freeway. This was a massive sinkhole, and I'm sure the pounding of more vehicles was an unsafe decision to keep that open, and so for precautionary measures they shut the whole thing down, and we still have all eastbound lanes closed. So you can either take Market Street if you need to head out toward Cloverleaf or Channelview, or better yet 225 as an alternate highway, or taking 90. Okay, so this is what the scene looks like at I-10 East and John Ralston. You can see emergency crews are out on scene. They won't be going away anytime soon. When I spoke to TxDOT, there is not an update as to when this will reopen. I do know that cones are up and traffic is forced to exit that feeder road. Right now, traffic is nice and light, and those alternate routes may not be tempting for you. But later on in the morning commute, even though it is eastbound, we just have a lot of truckers. I mean, it's an interstate. A lot of folks do head out toward the east to Channelview or further points east. So this will be impacting outbound drivers for sure. Then we will eventually have inbound rubbernecking due to the flashing lights, the distraction, the long line of drivers. So it's going to be a big problem, not only throughout the morning, but even this afternoon. This could be a major issue. Right now, visibility looks good, and all other highways are in the clear, including Katy at Mason, as you can see, 69 at McGowan. But Cheetah, folks want to stay tuned because I do have more details as I did speak exclusive. I was like, ooh, I know what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, and I know who I'm going to try to save time for, all of my East Siders. So yes, the alternate routes are definitely going to be utilized this morning, so expect those to be more on the fuller volume side as well. So of course it's outbound at John Ralston where everything is shut down. So right now traffic is light, quote unquote, so you can take the feeder road. I've seen quite a few drivers though in that area. You would think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning light. It's really not. But the other alternate routes that I would suggest, Market Street, which runs parallel to I-10 in this area, or you could take US 90, which shoots out toward the northeast here around Beaumont Place, or taking 225, which takes you out toward Deer Park. You could take the East Sam Houston Tollway northbound to get back up to Channelview. You can take the Washburn Tunnel, or you can take 225 all the way out to 146 and hit Baytown. Just depends on where your endpoint is. But you can see the feeder road doesn't look like it's 2 a.m. empty. It is full already in that vicinity, and all this traffic is going to sit through the next traffic light before re-entering the highway. What I understand is that this sinkhole was so massive and so deep that it was a struggle for them to get all of that water pumped out, and this is not going to be a repair that happens before rush hour. This is going to be an all-day affair, likely for days to come, so we will keep you posted on that. Inbound traffic doesn't look bad, so if you're leaving Baytown right now, all you guys need is about 20 minutes. But again, several alternate outbound lanes is what I'm going to recommend this morning, including 225, 90 as an alternate, or using Market. Everything else is nice and calm, which is what we need, really. 69 at Newcastle doing well if you're leaving Fort Bend. And Cheetah, I'll be monitoring that. But if anything else should pop up, you know we've got you covered. Oh. Houston, I mean, it looks like it's the size of at least one vehicle, and I'm not being sarcastic. You can see the front end of this equipment getting down into the sinkhole on I-10, the East Freeway, eastbound at John Ralston. This morning, it is still an issue, and we even have westbound shoulders that are impacted, but all eastbound lanes are completely closed. So imagine having to get the massive amount of water out of this area because there was a water line break. So that was step number one. Then they had to appropriately dig in there so that they could have a smoother surface, if you will. Then they had to put this fill in for this huge amount of area. It's just been a major undertaking, especially in this side of town where everything is heavily traveled by heavy trucks. All eastbound lanes at John Ralston remain shut down. So this morning, here are your alternate routes. If you're a freeway person, I would take 90 or 225. They are in the green right now, which means you'll be moving at posted speeds. You could take Market, which runs parallel to I-10 in that area if you don't want to stray too far. I would not take the service road. It is already extremely busy in that area. Also, we have a potential problem on the Gulf Freeway approaching downtown. I'll get to that in just a second. So all outbound lanes are closed, and they will be for the duration of your morning drive. They're waiting for that substance to curate, which is going to take hours. The feeder road already slammed and jammed where you don't want to be in that vicinity at all. And again, that's going to be outbound, leaving downtown. This is all between 610 and the East Sam Houston Tollway. Now, the Gulf Freeway, we're looking at Broadway, Monroe. This is right near Hobby Airport. Little volume to note there. And then once you get closer into downtown, Cheetah, thanks to those guys who had to go down inside. Imagine this was all filled with water. So first they had to pump out all of the water, which I'm sure was not an easy task. This happened yesterday on the I-10 corridor, eastbound or outbound at John Ralston between 610 and the Beltway is where we're talking. Obviously it was on the shoulder, but the massive size of this, at least one vehicle could fit down here, if not more. And I just think that the pressure and all of the traffic that would go nearby, it wouldn't be a good idea to keep the highway open. So they did have to shut things down, and that's why it's still closed. Then they got to digging, and then they got to pouring to fill the hole, but all this has to be curated, and it's just not an easy process. And we, of course, don't want any drivers to head that direction in an unsafe manner. It is just not worth it. It's easier for you to just go to another highway. And at this point in time, that's what you're going to have to do. Right now, I can tell you that Market is backed up. It runs parallel to the I-10 corridor as one of the alternates, but it's very busy at one point. It's going to clog, so I don't really highly recommend Market. However, Cheetah, 90 looks like a great alternate route to the East Sam Houston Tollway to get back over to Channelview, or taking 225. But this stretch between 610 and the Beltway, I just clocked it, 1 hour drive, which is highly unusual. You can just get a sense for how much traffic is in that area. You can see all traffic being diverted to this extremely packed service road. So I would not count on being anywhere near this area. It is not going to be fun. Inbound isn't stacking up too badly. Your drive time is about 21 minutes in from Baytown. That's about all I'm tracking. That problem, Cheetah, Gulf Freeway inbound and downtown, it resolved itself. Not an issue.
Okay, good.
To town. Can you imagine the amount of cars and truckers? This is running between 610 East Loop over to the Beltway, pretty much right in the middle is where the problem is. So let's talk about your alternate routes, because I have an update. First of all, to get from the 610 loop out to the Beltway, this is about an hour commute. And this is about 3 miles of backup in the outbound direction. Inbound, just a touch of rubbernecking happening. But outbound, I'm going to recommend 90 to the Beltway. That would be the route that I would take if I had to be in the area, or 610 East Loop to 225. Market is already backed up. It's really clogged there at Federal. So it's the least tempting option to take if you're trying to make your way out toward Channelview. We actually have a new problem on 290 working inbound at 34th. Some road work that was late to be picked up on the West Park. So issues on the west side as well this Thursday morning. Here's some of the backup here at Mercury. I mean, my goodness, stay away from the east in this area approaching John Ralston. It is a nasty amount of backup. Like I said, it's taking drivers an hour to get so few mileage. And 225 as the alternate route, obviously more volume outbound at Goodyear to be found, which I'm not surprised to see that. West Park, we are backed up all the way to Old Westheimer due to road work that was late to be picked up. And here's the 290 problem at 34th. It's multiple cars involved in this crash. Left lane is blocked. Cheetah, it's so fresh that we have one emergency crew, but we're actually probably waiting on more police and tow truck on that one. Anybody impacted from Cypress is going to see the slows approaching the loop.
So